Hi guys, happy Sunday with Satan. So, alright, totally found out where we left off from the In League with the Devil. So, crazy amazing stuff. So, here we go. Well, first, what did you guys do for the solstice? Anything? Anything fun? No? Maybe? It was actually really powerful. It was a really, really powerful solstice for me. My workings were quite good. So, alright. So yeah, I'm done almost taking notes. 2 books in one, so I don't know what or how the hell that happened, but it did. Alright, where did I go? Fuck. Okay, it's here. I just had it. Okay, so now in old West Country belief, the gifts imparted via the witch's diabolical compact with Bookadoo, the black god or devil, we already went over this, included the ability to send forth one's will or spirit in bestial form. Okay, we already went over that. Okay, this is what we did not go over. So all of the many ethereomorphous entities of traditional witch lore, the most inextricable and symbiotic relationship is to be found between the West Country witch and the toad. So the toad is synonymous with and emblematic of both the devil and the witch in old West Country lore. So sometimes the devil would appear to the witch in the form of a toad, and as an act of ritual homage to the one whom they derive their powers. God, I cannot read my own writing. The witch would kiss the toad upon its mouth. Aww, I love toads. So the toad, it seems, was both the spirit familiar of choice and the preferred form for traveling forth in spirit amongst West Country witches. I love my toads. So drawing distinction between the witch, her own spirit sent forth in the toad form, and between the Bacchanalian's spirit familiar is a great difficulty, if not an impossibility. So as evidenced in the folklore of families and individuals who have, in whatever way, aroused the witch's anger, only find themselves terrorized by a sudden visitation from a mysterious great toad. I think we already went over this too. Did we? I don't know. So often, as it is sadly the case with some people of great ignorance, the poor creature is put to a brutal death. Sometimes this takes a number of attempts, the toad regenerating each time before finally succumbing to death or disappearing from the scene. Later, the witch is discovered sometimes dead, with injuries corresponding to those previously inflicted upon the toad. Yeah, we did go over this because I remember that was pretty sad, because they like to disembowel the toad and ugh. So anyways, for those who have offended the witch, however, the matter is not done with, for the witch has by the visitation already imparted her influence, and dire misfortunes always follow. So as this case with the initiatory rites of the logging stones, the folklorists will be familiar also with the churchyard and toad breath rite of diabolic witch initiation. Within this rite, we are told by collectors such as Reverend R.S. Hawker that the aspirant witch must go to chancel to partake of the sacrament. I'm thinking of chapel. I think that's the word for chapel. To partake of the sacrament, yet hiding away the bread when accepted from the priest. Okay, that would be easy. That'd be very easy to do. So the aspirant shall then return with the bread to the churchyard and go to the northern side, and there begin 3 circumambulations around the church, backwards and in the direction against the sun, repeating all the while the Lord's Prayer. So upon returning to the north for the 3rd time, there shall the aspirant be met with a great toad, to whom the aspirant is to feed the bread. Then shall the toad breathe thrice upon the aspirant. How is the toad supposed to breathe on you? Anyways, so who thereafter shall be a strong witch, having this act conferred upon him or her all the powers of the art. So again, to such curiosities of folklore, there are comparable rites of concealed mystery observed by some within the Cornish and West Country old craft. So knowledge of such rites, as is proper, is imparted from one initiate to another, yet their mysteries may be pondered by exploration of the relationship betwixt the West Country witch and the toad. So there is a marked difference between the true West Country traditional witch and those toad doctors of folk magical tradition who would wrest and cut from the living creatures various body parts for their use in the curative charms. Yeah, so that does not happen in traditional witchcraft. So the whole toe bone rite, nothing to do with stretching a toad like open, cutting it open and stretching it to turn into like a piece of leather so you can write that charm. That's folk practitioners. That's not anything to do with traditional witchcraft at all. The toads are never harmed at all. If you do find one that is, just dead, it's a gift, so you have to take good care of it. Now, where did I go? So, to the profane and the ignorant, the toad is often regarded as being only a hideous vessel for all things loathsome, repugnant, adherent, and ultimately of evil. Thus, have such people reacted with fear at catching sight of a toad, which sadly and all too often would result in the poor creature being put without hesitation to some reluctant and overly heavy-handed death. So a toad appearing on the doorstep would often be taken as a sign that the household was under the influences of the witch's curse. This is a lot mixed together. This is like a melting pot. This part right here, in league with the devil, it's a lot. So, while it's more anciently, in other cultures, such a thing would instead be taken as a blessed sign of good fortune and prosperity. And it is. Here, anyways. So, those of intelligence would be more inclined to share the latter view, I would hope. For as wise old folk know, the toad is a good thing to have in the garden, and those of the old craft have been known to keep gardens well stocked with toads, for with their presence is brought blessings and abundance. I love toads. Alright, now, the ways and the approach of the West Country Toad Witch also differ from their colleagues of East Anglia and other areas, whose initiatory mystery cult would appear to be entered into almost entirely by masculine company. So it is thus perhaps comprehensible why their rites involve the dissembly of the toad, reducing its form to one part rather like the systematic stripping down of a mechanism in search of a particular vital component piece. Such rites have often involved the killing of the toad in particularly cold-hearted ways, although it is known that some initiates have employed already dead toads, gifted them by chance. I have one, that's it, and it's still in a jar of salt, but it was gifted to me, so I paid it respect. Alright, so by contrast, the cult of the West Country Toad Witch embraces the toad in whole, unmolested form in order to achieve the same ends, whilst its initiates are numbered by both women and men. This is very much a feminine cult in nature and approach, in which the toad is crossed and adored with a motherly passion. So to such a witch, the toad, with its delicate, soft, round, yet deathly cold form, and with its tiny arms and legs, tiny fingers and toes, is beheld as a beautiful, otherworldly baby, whom the witch will gladly nourish with blood drawn forth from her veins or milk from her breast. Anyways, don't do that. So, certainly many witches of Cornwall, Devon, and the West Country have wisdom of the gifts as well as the costs brought by the special maintaining, preserving of a relationship or union with toad spirits. So it is little wonder that such a relationship should exist, and that witch and toad are so intimately bound in ancient affinity, for the toad, like the witch, is a creature of liminality, So being born forth from the waters of the underworld to walk upon the land, to enter into the earth and maintain a state of death-like stillness through the harshness of winter, to emerge reborn from the tomb, returning to the waters to breed. We're very much like the toad. So in the toad, we clearly have a creature of passage between the worlds, between life, death, and resurrection, and a vehicle of the chthonic and the aqueous forces. Watery forces. So the toad is also of good. The toad is also, of course, a creature of transformation. The visually transformative nature of toads, frogs, and newts in their metamorphosis from the egg to adult is inherently magical to behold. Being a creature of liminality and of passage between the worlds, it is quite understandable why, to the witch, the toad should be regarded as also a vehicle for wisdom of the dead and of the fairy folk. So in the toxicity of the toad's venoms, we find ancient associations with magical influence, defense, vision, and spirit flight. So it is the mutual affinity between witch and toad, and the old ways of sympathetic magic employed by the witch and the ordinary folk alike, so which will undoubtedly have been behind the past employment of the toad by ordinary folk against witchery, which is very odd, because the toad is literally simply the witch. So in Devonshire, folk would hang a bag of patterned fabric containing a toad within their cottage as a protective charm to keep witches away. The old belief, once also held by Devonians, that toads should be caught and put to death by burning as witches, affirm that traditional knowledge that there is no separation between witch and toad. The black toad of Cornish and West Country old craft is in many ways akin to the black toad of English alchemical tradition. Big difference. So, here we find an emblematic vessel avatar of the earth of the philosophers, the first matter and the very root and beginning of the work. Within the arcanum of the alchemical black toad, we also find an emblem of the power of, this is interesting, attraction, sexual force, the attraction of the opposites, where all is one. Thus is the black toad emblematic of the beginning and the end of the work. So the creature of the road, beheld by some to be ugly and venomous, wears yet a precious jewel in his head. So belief in such an occult jewel as the toadstone, borax, or stellon may in some ways be a relation of the traditions surrounding the prized toad bone. So, very interesting. So there's nothing inside the toad's head. Toadstones are actually fossilized teeth from fish that are at least a couple million years old. Million years old, literally. I think so. And I do know the name of them, I just can't remember what. Let's see. There we go. See, I can't remember the name of them. No idea what they're called. But I want one, that's for sure. So yeah, the toad in traditional witchcraft, especially in Cornish witchcraft, no. It's not dissected. It is not in any way harmed. No, at all. So, everything you've ever heard about the toad bone rites, that's folk. That's just practiced by ignorant people. No, in some other areas, yeah, of course, they're going to do that, but, alright, let's try some coffee talk. So how is everybody's Father's Day going? Happy Father's Day to all the wonderful fathers out there. And the fur fathers. And our witch father. It's officially Buka Gwitter's reign, since it is, the solstice. Gallowin. Or midsummer. Which I love. Very potent energy and a very different type of energy because of, the way of the new moon. So it was kind of difficult for me. I'm still trying to understand, like, during the waning moon, when the moon's, going from full to new, how do you actually, do magic? that's workings for lessening, or getting rid of, or, planting seeds. So it's like, okay, now the full moon, perfect, amazing. But the other stuff, I have no clue. So I am finally figuring out the hours, which do actually, yes, everybody told me that it would work. Adding in the hours for your specific workings and, to contain. So I finally did my first circle of containment, and it's powerful. It's powerful. Very simple, too. It's just very simple magic. With those magical links that we talk about between witch and person. Good stuff. Okay, now where's my YouTube? Is YouTube changing again? I don't know if I can get to my comments. There we go. Alright. But yeah, it's really neat to see the magic work. Like before your eyes. The same day. Very interesting. I think it's amazing. It's incredible. Very incredible. Wow. What is going on with YouTube? I just want my comments, that's it. There we go. Alright. Oh, YouTube, don't take away the classic uploader. It's so much easier for people like me. It is so much easier. Alright. Gabe Lane, hello. Side note, thank you for everything. You're such a helpful person, and since you like the goat so much, here's another one. I love that goat. Thank you. I have to love that. Thank you. You are welcome. You're very welcome. I don't know how much I help you guys, but I'm glad that at least one person finds wisdom. Or, finds wisdom and, decipher, goes through all my stuff. Hopefully one person, goes through all of my videos or whatever. And a lot of people like to binge watch my videos, which I very, very much appreciate. You have a lot of videos to watch. I'm sorry. But yeah, hopefully, people, just at least one person, does it, finds something of use from at least one video. Alright, Gabe Lane, hello. Hello. Hope you're having a wonderful solstice. I did, and I still am. It's still going till the 24th. I love it. I love it because of the, in Cornwall, it's still going, and hopefully, there need to be like a live broadcast of what's going on in Cornwall. I think that'd be amazing. Alright, I am not doing much for it. I'm cleaning my room, and I am taking some cuttings from a couple herbs and veggies. I'm cleaning and making an altar to Buka. Ooh, I got a question. Would it be okay to mix different beliefs of mine on one altar? Like adding Norse and Celtic elements on my Buka altar? Yeah, of course. I know they still have very ancient connections. Some of the ancient English peoples had gods that were similar to those of the Scandinavian. You can definitely add them to your altar. Yeah, Buka is just, one of really, honestly, many, many names. And the closest thing we have to Buka would be Baphomet. Eliphas Levi's Baphomet from the 1800s. So, of course. Love that. Quit putting comments for, dirkgirl.com? No. Nope, goodbye. There. It's gone. Alright. Mystic Imagination. Beautiful reading, thank you. Did I read for you? I would love to go there too. Oh, Cornwall, that would be so amazing. That would be amazing. Alright. Gabe Lane, hello. Hey Ryan, lovely to see you again. Thank you. I've been able to get my hands on multiple Gemma Gary books. Well, how many does she have? I only know about the 3. And I was thinking about what book should I begin with and end with. Begin with the Traditional Witchcraft Cornish Book of Ways. There's a first edition and there's a second edition. I would do the first or the second, it doesn't matter really. And then I would actually end with the Black Toad. It's a really, really good. It's really, really good. So yeah, I mean, I love it. Alright. Cole McLaren, sorry. Shout out. Stevens, loved it. Thank you. Jasper Quinzel, hi my hubby, I love you. Robert O'Donnell, Lupe Love, hi my love. Sasha Slaughter. Gustavo, hello. Non-compost mentis Talmage, hello. Alright, Cole McLaren. Let's see, Lady Witch. Hi, Diane Hannon. Ghost. Cindy Miller. Hi, you. How are you? Skyly. My Skyly. I love you. I love my necklace. Civil Solstice. Gomez Tarot. Lisa Oaks. Simply adore you. Thank you. I adore you too. Very much. Very, very. Burns the Dragon TV. Hi, Burns. Miss Lizzie. Hi. Sleepy Me. Sasha Slaughter. Shout out. Gabe Lane. Shout out. Brent Edwards. Shout out. Jay Phoenix. Hi, bro. Love you. Alright. Lord Welb. Shout out. Adam Mitchell. Shout out. Medina Ray, shout out. J. Masao, shout out. Monica, shout out. And that's it. So yeah, for my patrons, I will blog my own personal containment circle that I did for you guys, so you guys can possibly do that too, if it will be of help. Hopefully it will be. So, alright, yesterday I got one necklace back, and it was for May, it was for you, it was Suspicious. Again, ripped the package open, pulled it out, necklace, that's all it is. So, yeah, it will be going out tomorrow. Don't know what's going on. I completely understand what's going on with the post offices and with everything, you know, everybody wanting to be completely and, you know, really, really safe. I totally get it. Hopefully there's no protests or rallies or anything going on so I can get to the post office again. But yeah, so anyways, I love you all very, very, very much. Happy Sunday with Satan. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. So, all my love, all the way from Venus. All the way back down. Feels good to stretch the arms. Everything is just like tense. So, I love you guys, and everybody have a good day. And happy solstice.